Oh, hey everybody, how are you doing? I am getting ready to put some floor down. So I guess you're here to watch? All right, well, subscribe to the channel, please. Let's get busy. It's December, so it's cold, but we are going to do some of our inside work, and I wish we had more daylight hours. It just makes me so tired when I get home from work. So here's what we're going to do. I've already laid down a corrugated plastic as our underlayment. Do we need an underlayment? No. I chose that for it as an air gap underneath between the floor and between the subfloor and the floor. Hopefully it'll act out almost like maybe an insulation. Floor is going to be cold on the slide out, but if we have that air gap, it can help not be so cold because it's not carpet. Our slide out's doing really well. But here is what I want to show you. Our new flooring. This is what we're putting in right here. So come along for the ride. The underlayment is already down, and I don't think this is going to be too hard, but I've never done it before. So we're going to find out. It is winter right now. It's cold outside. Below freezing when I was doing this, and much of December has been relatively warm, but this week that I was doing it, it was below freezing. Do not install this below freezing. Turn your furnace on and you will break a lot less flooring. I found out that the vinyl plank flooring, you start tapping on it and it will shatter and you'll have to replace it. So just make sure if you're doing this, turn the heat on, make sure it's probably at 50 degrees or above, maybe 40 degrees or above, I'm not sure. Just don't do it below freezing. And once I did that, it actually went together pretty well. This part of the flooring was kind of hard. The hardest part was right over in this section where the kitchen slide out is, because there's actually a piece of tile still under there from the previous laminated flooring, and I could not get it out. And somebody on the RV forums, they said if you can't see it, just don't worry about it. So I'm not worrying about it. If you can see it, let me know, but it's to the right in this picture right now. What we're doing is preparing to get this to be at our place in Kentucky. That is our ultimate goal. We want to have this place all set up, ready to go, and we can just, when we feel like it, drive down, fly down, whatever, and we'll have a place all ready. And I think we're almost there. The furnace works. I still got to test the water heater out. That is not a big concern to me yet, but I do think it's turning out really nice. Here's a sneak peek of something we're trying out for our structure that's going over the RV. And this was a good test and it worked. This is actually our neighbor's house up here in Ohio that we tried this out on, so that's not what we're building down south. Putting in the luxury vinyl plank flooring is not that difficult, but it does take some patience and finagling. Once you start doing it, it starts going pretty well, but you got to be able to measure, you've got to be able to cut, and have some tools available to you. But for the most part, it worked really well. Some of the small, tight sections, well, it worked. It's this section right here that is the kitchen slide out that I had to kind of manipulate in order to get the luxury vinyl plank to butt up to the existing flooring that's underneath this carpet here. There are a lot of good YouTube videos out there that give you ideas on how to do this kind of flooring, and they were very helpful. Of course, I didn't take all of it to heart, but the ideas around it I sure did. Getting perfect angles here actually wasn't that difficult. I thought it would be at first, but once I started understanding the concepts, it wasn't bad at all. I never grew up around a speed square, but it sure has been handy these last few years once I have acclimated myself to it. I don't know it perfectly well yet, but I am getting better, and when we start building the structure down in Kentucky, I will get even better, I believe. Always make sure that you have a couple of scrap pieces around that you can use to tap. Never use your tools directly on the flooring itself. It seems like there were some areas that I swept up 100 times. No matter how many times you do this, it seems like there's always another piece of the saw remnants, always sawdust, always flying around. Overall, the longest part of the project was actually doing the stairs. Between getting all the measurements, making sure we get the right piece in, and by the way, don't use a nailer. The trim nailer seems to put dents and pits into the luxury vinyl plank flooring. In order to get the riser to glue tightly, I had to use a wood clamp, and it was kind of frustrating. I had to use it to the vent. With all of the different brands of luxury vinyl flooring, it's kind of hard to find a stair nose that is compatible. So I'm going to show you how we make one. We're going to make the stair nose right here. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. And we don't need to buy anything from the store if we already have some of the extra luxury vinyl plank flooring. Be sure to like and subscribe. First, measure the total overlap that you want for the rise and run. That combines to be your total width. On the bottom side of the plank, cut a V-groove to 1/16 from the surface, where you want the fold to be. Any last notches, cut them out now. Use a torch or heat gun to go across the V-groove, and pretty soon you'll be able to fold it over in just a minute or two. Use a sander or router to round the edges to give it a professional finished look. If the nose butts up to another trim piece or nose, do not route or smooth that edge. In the fold, you'll want to put a little bit of polyurethane glue or Gorilla Glue. You can now use a polyurethane glue to attach it to the floor. You may need a relief cut in the floor itself or a floating floor. I think we got the floor pretty much finished up. It looks really, really good in my opinion. You can see over here, and I am real happy with how it turned out, the vinyl plank flooring in the RV. I'm going to show you how we made it. Here it looks. Back here, we got all the trim put on. Let's zoom out here. Easier to see. All in the slide out, which is actually where we started. And our stairs, we're just finishing up the nose that we put all the way around. The only thing I have to do yet is seal it. But I think that turned out well. Thanks everybody for giving me your time and watching this video.